Hi guys! Welcome to episode 35 of Knits and Stuff. My name is Alicia and today we'll be talking about finished objects, works in progress, pretty things, and wibbly wobbly timey-wimey. But first, welcome to those of you that are new, and for those of you that are returning, thanks for coming back. If you haven't already, there's a group in Ravelry that you can join. It's called Knits and Stuff Podcast, and I'll put a link in the show notes, which are at knitsandstuff.wordpress.com. So let's get started. I have quite a few finished objects since I was sick for like a week and a half or so, which is why I couldn't record 2 weeks ago. But got plenty of knitting done, and the first thing that I finished is the Henslow by Beth King. And this is what I made for Miriam, my friend. She picked out the yarn and I gave her an option of patterns and she picked out the Henslow. The stitch marker is where I was the last time I showed it to you, which was right before the lace section. And this is out of Malabrigo Machida in the colorway Pearl. And that's what the lace looks like a little bit closer. And I made a few modifications on this. I knit on US 4s, which is what the pattern calls for, but I did pick up the stitches on US 7s, and I did slip the stitches at the beginning of each row in the lace section, and I did double yarn overs in the garter stitch section at the edging instead of a single yarn over. I think most of the changes I did are detailed in my project notes, so hopefully that captures all of them. But yeah, so that is first finished object, so I can finally gift this to Miriam, hopefully today. So that is the first thing, and then I have another shawl that I finished, which is back here, and this is the Quaker Yarn Stretcher Boomerang by Susan Ashcroft, and it's quite long. I used 2 skeins of Freya Fine Hand Paints in the colorway South Beach, and I don't think I made any other modifications other than the way I did the pattern repeats. I followed someone else's suggestion to do groups of ridges. So a group of 3 and then a group of 5 and have more stockinette in between. So I think the pattern calls for more consistent ridging. So that's what I did. And let's see, I did knit on US 7s, 4.5 millimeters, and both of these have been blocked. So the lace shawl was blocked and this Quaker Yarn Stretcher was blocked. So and I just have to snip the ends, but otherwise it's pretty much done. And yeah, I like it. I haven't worn it yet though because it's been warm here, but in the fall I'll have plenty of shawls to wear now. And I cast on another shawl, so yeah, lots of shawls. But yeah, that's finished object number 2. Put that back on. And then finished object number 3 is this. This is my sock head hat. And this is by Kelly McClure. I made one of these before. And this used to be a Bristol hat, but I frogged it because the yarn was too variegated for the pattern. It wasn't turning out well. So I made a sock head hat instead, and I do like the way it turned out. The beginning of the skein was a little bit more saturated in color, so that's why the ribbon's darker. But yeah, that's pretty much, I think I knit it on US 3s instead of 3.0 millimeters because I didn't have the right needles. But I think I knit my other sock head hat out of US 3s too, so that's fine. And then I made it slightly shorter, like half an inch shorter than what the pattern calls for, because it seems to fit fine when I tried it on at that time. So that's how long my other hat is. But oh, and the yarn is Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the colorway Neon Lot A. I think it was a test color. So yeah, that is the hat. And I'll try to put it back on without messing everything up. So, and it's a little slouchy, as you can see. It's designed to be pretty slouchy. So it's got quite a bit of extra. But yeah, so that is finished objects. So works in progress. So I have also done a little bit of work on some old projects. One of them is the Winter Sea Shawl by Liz Abenante. And I didn't knit that much on here because it was actually not as easy to knit on while I was sick, because the yarn's a little bit stiffer than some of the other projects I had, and the pattern takes more paying attention to. So this is the shawl. Let me hold it up. I am only a little bit past the second skein of yarn, and the yarn is a Verb for Keeping Warm Clover in the colorway Beach Glass. And this is where I was last time. So as you can see, not that much, it's on this side, and not that much progress, just a few rows, but they are getting longer now, so it's taking a little bit longer to do each row. But there's a nice chevron pattern on the shawl, so it's turning out nice. And then I've also worked on some socks. Just a little bit. I noticed that when I had a cold, my gauge was a little bit looser, I think because my hands were not feeling as strong. So I didn't knit that much on here when it looked like I was actually knitting looser than I was before. But that's where I was last time. My little stitch marker from Mustache. But this is Mustache yarn, perfect sock in the colorway Dark Side of the Moon. And the pattern is just toe-up socks with a difference. And I'm knitting it on US 1s, 2.25 millimeters, and these are my high ayas. The other needles were my Addy Natura Clicks. But yeah, that is work in progress number 2. And then, so much knitting going on this time. My last work in progress, which I cast on like a week or 2 ago, is another shawl. So many shawls. This is called Reina, and it's not quite as bright. That's more color accurate, yeah. This is the Reina shawl by Nora Laviola. I can pronounce names. And it's on US 4, 3.5 millimeters, also adding Natura Clicks. And the yarn is Bumble Birch Wellspring in the colorway Blueberry. And right now it's getting a little bit washed out by the camera, or by the lighting, but it's a little bit darker than that. And it's got some blues and mostly this kind of purpley brown that's really pretty. So I wanted to knit, this is superwash merino, and it's in a sock weight or fingering weight yarn, but I figured it would probably hold up a little better as a shawl rather than socks. So I chose this pattern because it was good for variegated yarn because of the lace repeat in it. So yeah, it's coming along. It's a pretty easy pattern. Oh, and I am being lazy about it because it calls for knit 2 togethers on one side for the lace and slip knits on the other side, but I didn't want to spend the time to do the slip knits, so I just did knit 2 togethers instead, all the way across, which I can't really tell the difference on. I think it makes the stitches look slightly different on either side of the center, but it's not really that noticeable. So, and overall it still looks the same, so I think I'll probably keep it that way. But yeah, so that is works in progress, knitting works in progress, and I have some spinning, which I haven't done in a while, so it's exciting. I am working on bat that I got, or roving that I got a while ago, and it's from Unwind Yarn Company, and it is hand-dyed swirl BFL. Let's see if I can bring it up. Probably need to focus this first before I bring my spinning wheel up. Oh, and I'm doing this on my ladybug. Try not to destroy everything with it. So this is, the colorway is called Black Magic Woman, and it's kind of purples and pinks. It's BFL, and I'm doing 2-ply, so I split up the roving in 2, just in half, not lengthwise, but the opposite of lengthwise. and then I did some pre-drafting of it, and I'm spinning it. It'll probably end up being like a finger, well, maybe sport weight DK with a 2-ply. So yeah, this is just the first half of it. But yeah, I like how it's turning out kind of very woolen looking, even though I'm not spinning it woolen. But I think that's the BFL that makes it kind of like rusticy. Yeah, it's kind of got a halo to it. That's what it is. So yeah, that's my spinning. And that's pretty much all my works in progress. So that would bring us to pretty things. So I got some batlings from Hobblyhoy. I actually ordered them quite a long time ago, but because of an address mistake from PayPal, thinking my default address was my old address, so it got sent there, and then it was returned back to Liz from Hobblyhoy, and then she had to send it back to me, to my right address, and she was really nice about it, and even packed some extra goodies for the wait. But yeah, so I finally got it a few weeks ago, and I got the Batling Constellation collaboration, and I got 2 of them. So this is Ursa Major, and that's what they look like. The colors are really pretty. They're it's pinks and purples and bright blue, and so pretty. And then I got the other one is Cassiopeia, and these are little batlings of blue and gold, and mostly like, I guess they're a turquoisey blue, not quite a cow blue, but they could be cow colors. So those are batlings, and I think I'll probably spin them up on a spindle, because they would be good to have around. They're the right size to be spun on a spindle. And then the extras that was packed were these lovely bats. I'm not sure what the fiber makeup is. I imagine it's just a blend of different things, but it's really soft, really pretty. And then the batlings were superwash merino and tussa silk. So that's these guys. But yeah, that is all of the pretty things I have for now. I actually have some other stuff to show you, but I'll probably wait until next time and then the time after, so I can spread them out. Yeah, that's pretty things. So that would bring us to Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey. And it's not the new season yet, but it's coming up. Doctor Who is starting season 9 on September 19th, and they released a new series, Iconic, I guess is what they're calling it, but it's just an image, which I'll probably try and put somewhere here on top of me, of the Doctor and Clara running away from an explosion, and it looks pretty epic. It'll be interesting to see what they do this season based off of how they ended last season. I hear that, or it's been announced that Missy's coming back for this season, which they talked about at Comic-Con. I don't know if I mentioned that when I talked about Comic-Con, but yeah, so it'll be an interesting season. And then also BBC America is doing something called The Doctor's Finest, and they're broadcasting episodes, some of the best of episodes which I guess is a matter of opinion, but it looks like there's going to be some good ones. And I think they're going to have some commentary and cast interviews along with those. But if you're a new Doctor Who fan, or if you want to get into it, haven't seen anything before, they're starting with Blink. So that's one of the best first to watch episodes if you're new to Who. And that's on August 15th is when they're starting to broadcast those. So yeah, if you're interested, I'll probably try and watch them. We don't have BBC America, so I don't know if I'll be able to watch them live and if they'll have it available somewhere else afterwards, but I'll try and see if I can watch them because it would be fun to see interviews and commentary and everything on the episodes. But yeah, so that is the brief wibbly wobbly timey-wimey, and that's pretty much all I have for this episode. Hopefully back to normal recording now, and hopefully I don't get sick again. Yeah, so I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Social media stuff, I'm Eliana Knits on Ravelry and Unperfect529 on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, everything else pretty much. And yeah, that's all I have. Don't forget about the group on Ravelry if you want to join. Knits and Stuff podcast, and show notes are knitsandstuff.wordpress.com. So yeah, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching. Bye.